Hello, so I wanted to do a quick video talking through the 8 steps to geospatial content marketing Nirvana. Kind of an interesting title. So we've built out a sequence of steps with content which we found has helped to drive what you're looking at on the screen essentially: attention, curiosity, interest, relationship, and commitment. And really, content we found needs to be guided by the sales funnel. And we often think of it as if one is building a relationship. You know, if one looks at the journey to marriage, for example, often that starts with one, for example, going to a party. Um, Attention and curiosity are important parts of initial attraction, I suppose. Interest is when you start to engage with that person. Um, if you're interested and want to further that relationship, if you like, then you exchange numbers, you build a relationship by dating, and then at some point, if that all goes well, you commit and you get married. So we've been guided by those sort of general principles as we built out what I'm about to show you. A lot of text on this slide here. I'll just rattle through it very quickly. Really, we're talking about a number of steps to actually go and build out a successful content marketing, geospatial content marketing campaign. And I'm going to show you in this video one that was very successful that a campaign that we built. But the general steps that are involved is we often start off with articles. Articles are a really great way to gather thoughts, think about the audience one's trying to go after and the content that one wants to include. So they're a good place to actually start. As you'll discover as I talk through this, articles on their own aren't enough anymore. But the journey that we take and that I'm going to take you through here is content generally in an article sense. It involves initial planning. So that may be collaboration between a group within an organization, thinking about what that thrust need to be, guided by some of the strategy that you've built. The article writing, you need a good writer to actually do that, and somebody, I would argue, that understands, if it's geospatial, who understands geospatial. Now, critical pieces to any article are the title and the image, and again, I'll show you examples as we move through, but careful thought needs to go in there, as does careful thought need to go into the call to action, the article's CTA. That's how we're going to build relationships. So once the article's completed and we're happy with it, the next stage is to actually publish it. Now, we've experimented with this a lot, and we prefer to publish articles on our blog. We like to drive traffic to our website, or customer websites and blogs. So we can track that and we can drive people to actually look at the content wider than just the article. So that's important. We've experimented with putting stuff into LinkedIn, for example, publishing it there. But our preference is to a website, a blog on a website. We use social media to share that information, so we point back to that article from social media, and primarily that's LinkedIn and Twitter. But that's not the end of the story. Just simply publishing the article is not the end of the story. And again, it's important to understand that years ago it was enough to actually build articles that rely on SEO. So you put in those keywords, and organic searches were important. All that mechanism around SEO, that's become, I would say, watered down. And again, one has to think about the amount of content that's out there, and the attention spans that are shortening. So what we've done is we've actually built within these campaigns kind of reminder pieces, and you'll see step 6 and 7 there are where we publish imagery and video as a way of reminding folks, if you haven't read it, this is the article we just published, please come and read it. Frequency is something we often talk about. And again, let me cover that as I show examples of that as we move through. This article actually is really focused on the stage 8, which is measuring and reviewing. And I'll give you some numbers, and some quite impressive numbers from a campaign that we ran. We won't talk in this video about an email nurturing campaign. Really, an email nurturing campaign is all about, once you've actually, people have been prepared to share their information, their email addresses, you build that relationship over time. And that's an email campaign that keeps you in front of folks, shares information that is the reason originally why they came to you. And then you learn and repeat. And again, we'll talk more there. So those are the sequence that we walk through within the campaigns that we run. So let me show you an example of a successful campaign that we ran not that long ago. So I wanted to choose something that was relatively recent. And I would underline that this was not a one and done deal, this campaign. We learned through repetitive campaigns about what I'm about to show you. So what I'm showing you on the screen is what we shared in LinkedIn. So we published the article to the blog, and then this is what we shared in LinkedIn. And you'll notice that there's really a number of elements of importance in this. First of all, the wording at the top, and you can see that there should be some compelling, attention-grabbing, curiosity wording. In this case, should sales and marketing might not like this, but you might want to read it. The image is kind of amusing and catches people's attention. The actual title, Why Did Geospatial Sales and Marketing Continue to Fail, is really important. And again, at the end, we'll talk about that, but thought around that title is critical. Now, you'll notice at the bottom, 1449 views. Now, we've done this for years and we get many variations on the number of views. Views in LinkedIn are really signs of interest. It's not telling you how many people went to actually read the article. It's really how much interest have you generated. That's how you have to read that. And 1449 is a good number. So we were really pleased with how many people found that topic that and how we put the information out there of interest. This is the CTA that we've put inside of the article. So very simple, very straightforward, very much to the point. This is how we build those relationships. This is the number when you leave the party. This is how you come away with the other person's number. This is how we actually then engage over time and build something that's more than just a one-off. So we really need to be sharing information here. In this case, it's an ebook, which really spoke more about geospatial sales and marketing. And it's downloadable, but we ask people to share their email addresses. Some of you guys watching this may have actually gone through that and shared your email addresses and via this ebook. So you'll get some of the method and the madness in here as to why we did all of these things. I am going to actually, I can't show you the numbers on that one. That's been cut off at the bottom, but this was the second day of the campaign. So we featured the article on the first day. On the second day, we actually released an image with some text in LinkedIn to say, if you missed it the first time, don't forget, we've got a compelling article you might want to read. And obviously the imagery and the wording, it gives you another opportunity to get in front of people and get their attention. Now, in this case, there were 208 views of this particular post. So again, a good number. It obviously wasn't the 1400, but we didn't expect that. So, but 208 is a good number for an image, a simple sharing image. So again, good numbers. Third day, we went to video. Now, there's a lot of talk about how compelling video is. We really, really like video. But in this case, this is a bit of an explanatory video. So this is going to be a longer video, but we like short videos. We like attention-grabbing, compelling videos that tell stories. In this case, what we did was we actually downloaded a free video, and we obviously credited the guy that made the video, and then we edited it by adding labels and information in it. So we really told a story within the video, and we added music to it as well, and we embedded it within LinkedIn. And there were 280 views of this particular video, which is a lot. We don't generally get that many. So it was a good video. The story we were telling in it was good. The video itself was catching people's attention. So there was a lot there that got people. The one thing you'd note on the screen here is that was 16 seconds long, that video. We try and limit those type of videos to under 30 seconds. You've got to be short and sharp and to the point. So again, some good numbers there. So let's move to the place where we can actually now measure and analyze what happened within that campaign. And I've already shared some of the numbers with you. So 1442 for the article, LinkedIn views was very good. The image got 208 views. Again, just a reminder to tell people. And I would add, we basically ran this kind of back. We added, I believe that we did it, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday. We've experimented more with widening the gap, and I think it's actually better to widen the gap. So maybe you had looked at the article on a Tuesday, you have a Thursday image, and then on a Monday you do the video, whatever it needs to do. But you need to do this in a sequence. The video, 280 views. There was a lot of views there. Now we looked at Google Analytics, and we saw that there was a 25% plus growth in people visiting the website. Now that was over a week. We did it over the week and saw the week before and the week that we launched this, and it was a 25% plus increase. So that's a lot of traffic. But here's the critical number. We generated 44 leads from this campaign, and I believe there were 32 in the first day. That's a lot. We've done quite a lot of campaigns. That's a lot of leads, and these are people that are really generating, that are interested in what you're talking about and want to know more, and they're prepared to share their email addresses with that. So they're people that have your shared why, your shared purpose, if you like, your shared belief, if that's using Simon Sinek's terminology. But that's a big number. So let's talk about lessons learned from this. Yeah, we start with an article. We believe that it's really important to get a compelling topic, title, and image. Really, really critical. Let me just get to the 3 points that are here. So the topic has to resonate with the audience. You need to know the buyer persona to do that resonation. What is it? Who is your audience? What are they interested in? And your goal of the article ultimately is to be talking about not yourself, but about the customer, that buyer persona, and the problems that they've got, and how you are taking them on a journey to a solution. That's what this campaign was sort of focused on. Again, our work in the sales and marketing area to help sales and marketing folks be more successful, generate leads, etc. So that was our purpose here, and we were really directing this attention at sort of the business leaders and the business development folks. So the topic's critical, the title's critical, and the image is critical. Now you can do all sorts of things with 5 reasons, and you can test out lots of compelling wording, listing type things, and they all, again, some are more successful than others, but I can't underline more that no matter what you do, it's got to be that topic that's important to those people, and you have to bring that out in a really carefully thought through title. The image, of course, is an attention grabber. The CTA, practice with CTAs. CTAs need to do A/B testing. What wording, what imagery works for the CTA? And again, the topic of that is really important. So you've got to really give some time and thought to the CTA and test. You've got to keep testing it, repeating. We've already spoke about the buyer persona. If you don't know who your audience is and you're writing for the unknown, don't be doing that. Write for who you know. So you've got to have that time spent up front doing the buyer persona. All the strategy pieces we've not spoken about here are really important, but that buyer persona is critical. But like I mentioned, I mean, the articles were originally really targeted with keywords to SEO, so organic searches, Google searches, etc. Still important, arguably less important. And HubSpot, I was reading an article on HubSpot just the other day talking about that one has to take a multitude of different approaches now, with people's attention span being so much shorter. So yeah, articles are good, but it's not just about articles. You need a phased social media campaign, and that's really what this is. It's a phased campaign using reminders and multiple different types of media to point people back at what is the content that you want people to be looking at, which contains that CTA. And again, remember, the CTA is how you're building that relationship. That's the number that you get when you leave the party to continue advancing that relationship with somebody, maybe leading to marriage. Now, nurturing campaigns, which we're not going to talk about here, are really the important part of that continued relationship building process. And nurturing campaigns have been spoken about a lot, but they're really the ways of you staying in front of the folks that have shown interest in that shared purpose. They've been prepared to share their email address, and you're really reminding them and keeping in front of them that you're doing things that could be interesting to them, that hopefully can lead down the road to a commitment on their part and a commitment on both of your parts to a purchase of something and solving a problem, which is ultimately the goal that you're trying to achieve. The last point I wanted to make was really, and this is what we do a lot. I mean, these campaigns I'm talking about, the one I'm showing you was not just a one-off, as I mentioned. We did multiple campaigns like this to learn about the title, the focus of what that title should be, the focus of the article, the thrust of the article. It's really important that, if I didn't mention it earlier, have someone who knows how to write a good article. I would argue who knows geospatial. If you're going to be selling a geospatial-based product, you really need to understand that what geospatial is and how that can help folks solve particular problems, whether it's the data or the analytics, whatever it might be. But the story you're going to tell, you need to understand the deeper level of that story. So I'll finish on the fact that our general process within these campaigns is we'll measure and review. So we've just walked through the measurement. What worked, what didn't work, review all of that stuff. What did we learn? and then repeat. So it's an iterative process of repetition, and over time you begin to realize what elements there are interesting to your audience. What are those areas that are going to make them want to engage with you, um, download those CTAs, so you can build those long-term relationships. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. This stuff, but it behooves one to actually go through this iterative process. And again, if you're interested, reach me back. My name's Matt Sheehan at Why There, and I can tell you more about how we build these campaigns over time, and the successful results we found from doing these campaigns. So thanks for watching.